Okay, so I just saw the episode and, well, I'll be honest, I'm a bit disappointed. It's the final episode and disappointed.
Disappointed!
Like, don't get me wrong, it was a fine episode, had some good action and spectacle and stuff, but this was supposed to be the final. And there wasn't any real surprise or unexpected curveball that would have made you go, oh shit, oh dang, so there wasn't any kind of like big impactful thing. It was kind of like paint by numbers, they played it safe. Again, I don't get me wrong, there were cool moments. It had a good fight with Moff Gideon and Din Djarin. It had a good fight with Bo-Katan. The Red Praetorian Guards were cool, they were good. Baby Yoda used the Force a lot, so that was good. But I didn't feel like there was much struggle. Din Djarin got captured in the last episode, and it made you think, oh, what's going to happen to him? Oh no. He just easily escaped somehow in like the first 5 minutes. The new stormtroopers, they were built up to seem like they were better than regular ones, but they weren't. They were pretty much the same. They had jetpacks, but they were just, faceless grunts again. They were a bit of a step down from the robot dark troopers from season 2, which were quite scary, and you needed a Jedi to show up to save everybody, which is what happened. So I thought the Mandalorians were gonna really struggle. Like I thought like lots of them were gonna die, and then like the New Republic were gonna show up with their X-wings and stuff, and there were rumors of Boba Fett was gonna show up. I heard something somewhere that someone said that would have been something. At least. Obviously, in my last review, I said I was going to check my expectations a bit and not expect, a Luke Skywalker cameo or something equivalent to that. But they did nothing, really. Nothing blew my mind in this, and it needed to, because this is the final. The Moff Gideon clone scene was pretty cool. I think what's going to happen is maybe one of them survived, perhaps, and the original Gideon is either dead or just disfigured in some way. So anyway, one of those clones is probably going to appear somewhere down the line. And so yeah, that's interesting. And he'll have the Force. So cool. That might be good. When I complain that this was a bit paint by numbers, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to sound like a hater. I don't hate, but I don't know. This season has been a bit off, just in general. A lot of people have been saying it, and now that we've got it all and it's all out, it just feels a bit meh. Yesterday I actually rewatched the whole season in lead up to this, so now that I've watched it all, it just to me just wasn't as good as last season, and certain things have been missing in this one. I mean, yes, we can talk about Gina Carano being absent from this, but I won't go there. It's just seeing Carl Weathers without her by his side. She was an integral part of the last 2 seasons, and she was great, but whatever. I liked her as a character. Also, where's Bill Burr? Where is he? He was also one of my favourite characters. He was great. So, where is he? Also, another thing, Pedro Pascal. Why didn't we see his face again in this season? I thought maybe Moff Gideon was gonna interrogate him in a cell when he got captured and remove his helmet just to be a prick. But no, that didn't happen. That would have put the character in a bit of a compromising position, because like losing his helmet, having his helmet taken off, that's a big thing for him. I'm starting to believe all of the rumors now about all the behind the scenes drama, so maybe he just refused to be on set for whatever reason, because it's pointless him being there if he has to wear a mask, or a helmet. But I like it when he takes his helmet off. It's not because I fancy Pedro, I don't swing that way, but firstly, the first reason, it's nice to see his face, because you're reminded that it's him under that helmet, and you have that illusion of that it's him under that helmet, and it's he's in the costume, and it's not just a stunt double all the time. And secondly, from a narrative point of view, it's kind of like his kryptonite. If you really want to upset him or screw up his brain, then you take off his helmet, and the villain could have used that. And I think, I believe the story of Din Djarin, of the Mandalorian, of this show, the character journey that he should be going on should be about him forsaking his cult-like Mandalorian ways. He's a zealot, and it's a cult. you know? It's a cult like Scientology. He has to keep his helmet on all the time, and that, you know, number one, that must be very uncomfortable, but also it's a bit like fascism, really. You've got all these crazy rules that you have to abide by, you know, and Star Wars, right? The whole point of Star Wars is you know, it's about characters being human and being less fascist. You know, the whole point of Darth Vader, the whole fable of that character was that he was this innocent boy who then became this evil cyborg robot dude, and that's bad. And Luke, in Return of the Jedi, almost went down that exact same path. When he looked at his hand after he chopped off Vader's hand, that moment was all about Luke figuring out, oh shit, I'm becoming a machine, I need to stop. And so having all these crazy Mandalorian rules is the exact same thing, kind of. And it doesn't fill me with joy to see that little kid at the end becoming a Mandalorian, you know, taking the vow and saying, this is the way. It's like, am I supposed to cheer for that little kid becoming a fascist zealot just like his father? He's joining a cult, so no, I don't find it positive at all. You know, they're all brainwashed, and to me the story of this should be about Din becoming more human and snapping out of his conditioning, you know, because of Grogu and the adventures that he's going on with him, and learning about another way of life. I just think it's a more positive story for him to forsake his rules and live a better life, a more fulfilling life. And, you know, it's a bit of a piss take, really, isn't it? I mean, like, you know, the armourer is like, you've got to go bathe in the waters of Mandalore and then we'll forgive you. You know, it's like, fuck off. You know, I'm not doing that. Piss off. You know, all you got to do is just simply take your helmet off and put it back on again. You can lie. You know, he didn't need to tell the truth. He could have just said, yeah, I didn't take my helmet off, but he has to abide by these rules, which are ridiculous. So anyway, if there is some behind the scenes drama with Pedro, then it's just ruining the show, basically, and they need to sort it out and get this man on the set so the character of Din Djarin can take his bloody helmet off. You know, I think Moff Gideon in this episode should have taken his helmet and destroyed it or something. That would have been interesting. You know, he could have taken his helmet off and then Din Djarin could have been like, no, and then like he throws it off a cliff or something, or whatever, and that would have been interesting. And then in season 4 could have been about Din Djarin being like, oh shit, I've lost my helmet, what do? Do I get a new one, or am I enjoying not having to wear this? You know, should I chill out a bit more with the rules? Anyway, I'm not going to say any more about the helmet situation. So yeah, that short-haired lady, nothing came of that with Dr. Pershing. Nothing happened in this episode that connects to that episode on Coruscant, so they're leaving that for the future. I thought maybe she would get found out or something, and there would be this big sort of, oh, you are an Imperial, oh my god, you know, and I thought the Korean dude with the X-Wing would have got involved a bit more in the final episode, you know, showed up in his X-Wing with a whole bunch of New Republic people, but no, he's just hanging out at the bar with Dave Filoni with his cowboy hat. I don't get why he wears those cowboy hats, but yeah, whatever. And also I thought as well, I thought someone was going to betray someone, like the guy from Quantum of Solace. I thought he was going to be like a spy or something, or working for Moff Gideon. When he flew up to the ship, I thought he was going to do something evil, but there was no surprises at all. You know, the episode just happened and that was it. Or there could have been he could have been a red herring or something, and then somebody else could have been a betrayer, you know? Yeah, but the episode was just so short, and it could have been an hour long, but it was like, what, 36 minutes? That's crap. And we didn't get any more flashbacks with Grogu and Ahmed Best. Nothing major happened in this episode. Everything just went back to square one. Not much conflict or struggle, just paint by numbers, and it kind of annoys me because maybe I've been a bit too kind to this show in my reviews. Like, if you go back and watch my reviews, like, I kind of give the show the benefit of the doubt or whatever, and I say, oh, well, it's all going to come together in the end. And this episode just sort of like, yeah, I mean, it wraps up things and it ties things up and stuff, and it leaves a few loose ends for the next season, but nothing big and impactful happened for me anyway. I mean, some people might say differently. And I'm not saying that they needed to kill off any major characters like Din Djarin or Bo-Katan or whatever, but I just would have liked something risky to happen that puts these characters into a bit of a moral quandary and then comes back into play later. Like, we all thought they were going to have to fight for the Dark Saber or something, but they didn't do that. You know, like two friends having to fight each other, two allies having to fight each other. You know, like that's a conflict. That's something interesting where we can all discuss it and be like, oh, what's the moral implications of this? You know, that sort of thing. But they played it safe and they didn't do that. And so, you know, the episode ends, you know, obviously like Bo-Katan's, they've got Mandalore, they took it from the Empire. How many Imperials are there? There must be loads of them. How are they not still running the galaxy, to be honest with you? I mean, you know, blowing up the Death Star didn't really do shit, did it? You know, blowing up 2 Death Stars didn't do anything. But yeah, anyway, never mind. The episode ends with a cheesy shot of Din sat outside his house and Grogu playing with a frog. It ends in a very cartoony sort of way. So it was happy, I guess, but it was just a bit weak. Anyway, to wrap this up, I've enjoyed reviewing this season, even though it's not been the best one, and this final episode was a bit of a letdown. I'll rewatch it obviously again in the future, and you know, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, and maybe when season 4 comes out, you know, I might look at it differently or whatever, but you know, I shouldn't have to feel that. You know, season 2 I thought was fantastic. Every single episode of season 2 was brilliant, and it delivered on everything that it promised and more. But I'm still a fan, and I'm looking forward to next season. I hope some time has passed and Grogu, you know, Baby Yoda grows up a bit and we see him talking and he's not a baby anymore, because I think that might get a little bit old. And I hope whatever behind the scenes drama gets sorted, because whatever it is, and if it is true, it's hurting the show, and it's weird it's weird that Star Trek Picard, right, which had a terrible second season and a not that great first season, but it's just been so much better with season 3, and it's so weird that I've been enjoying season 3 of Picard a lot more than this, and I'm more of a Star Wars fan than a Star Trek fan. So maybe I should have been reviewing that every week instead of this. But anyway, I'll end this here, I think. Sorry if it's, you know, I'm sorry if you feel the same as well, like it's a bit disappointing. Anyway, subscribe to my channel and I will do some more shit. And yeah, better shit. I've got some stuff planned for the future. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, thanks, goodbye.